What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down a bunch of stocks that I'm watching and looking to buy heading into this week here in the stock market, many of which are reporting earnings. And guys, I'm super excited. Big tech is reporting this week. We have Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, and a bunch of other companies. So we're going to break down some of those in this video. And I also want to go over what happened last week in the market, taking a look here at the S&P 500, breaking down some technicals, and we're also going to take a look at the futures, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ futures, and let me tell you guys, those are actually down right now quite a bit. So if you guys find value in the video, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and check out the free Strive Smart Discord chat, free Strive Smart Facebook group, link down below. You can also get 3 free stocks valued up to $1,600 as well. All you have to do is deposit $100, and that is how you get your 3 free stocks from WeBull. And again, they're linked right down below. So guys, let's get started and talk about what's been going on here and a bunch of stocks. And let me tell you, I have over 10 that I want to talk about in this video, so it's going to be jam-packed. So last week, markets, and honestly the past week before that as well, have been selling off, right? S&P at 3550 went down to about 3400 flat. We double bottomed at about 3400, and we ended up closing the week on a pretty decent pop, right? You guys can see here on the 5-day, 5-minute, the S&P 500, again, it double bottomed at about 3,400, and then Thursday, Friday last week, it started to show some upwards momentum, maybe because of the stimulus talks, or maybe because the market honestly just got a bit oversold, right? We went from 3,550 to about 3,400 in a pretty quick time period, so maybe the market is kind of snapping back a bit. And we had that move, right, from 3,400. We ended up holding 3,450 as a support on Friday at a higher low. You guys can see that's an ascending pattern beginning. That's a good sign. And we ended up closing pretty strongly heading into the close on Friday, right? So when you're looking at this chart, you're like, yes, the bulls are winning. This is looking great, especially if the S&P is able to get over 3480, which I've been talking about a lot on the channel. That's a big level of resistance coming up. Take a look here on the 20-day 1-hour chart, and you guys can see the arrow here. If we break 3480, that could be an explosion in the S&P 500, right? So you're looking at this and you're like, oh, the bulls are doing great, right? They're finally starting to gain some momentum. On the hourly chart, you can see it as well. We're breaking out of the 50 SMA, and then all of a sudden, the futures opened up, the futures market. And by the way, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the futures market opens here. And the ES, this is the E-mini S&P 500 Index futures, they're down a decent amount. So that pop we saw on Friday is pretty much gone at this point based on the futures, right? S&P futures are down 20 points, down about 0.5%. And you guys can see here on the hourly chart, this is not looking too great. We failed to break out of the 180 SMA here on the hourly chart. And now we just broke under the 50 SMA as well. So now we're slowly creeping under both moving averages, and we're down in the futures. And that could indicate maybe some further selling. And of course, guys, don't always rely on the futures. We know at this point they could always flip-flop. For all we know, we could wake up tomorrow and the futures are up extremely, right? But at this point, they're down. And it's likely due to stimulus. We haven't come to a stimulus agreement. It's been dragged on for weeks at this point. And the market is kind of selling on that reason, right? If we had a stimulus package this weekend, I would guarantee, I don't know if I'd bet my life savings. Maybe that's too far. But I'd bet a good amount that if we got an agreement, the futures would be up a ton, right? So at this point, in terms of stimulus, on Friday, Pelosi told CNN that she sent Mnuchin a list of concerns that, quote unquote, we still had about what? That doesn't make sense. She sent him a list of concerns that we still had about what is the answer. I don't even know what that means. This is in my notes, guys. I might have made a mistake there. But He said, my understanding, or she said this, my understanding is he will be reviewing that over the weekend and we will have answers on Monday based on those lists of concerns, right? And Pelosi said she'll not hold out to see whether Democrats win the White House and the Senate and keep the House after in the November 3rd elections to pursue a bill more to the Democrats' liking. So she's saying she's not going to hold out, meaning she'll continue working to get a relief bill passed, quote unquote, as soon as possible. And how many times have we heard this, guys? I mean, they're still negotiating. It's still back and forth. And again, I'm not a stimulus channel. You can go watch Meet Kevin. This guy's a machine. He's making 15 videos a day on this stuff. So go watch him if you want more analysis there. But at this point, all you have to know is there's no deal quite yet. And the market is selling off. The futures are selling off based on that. And this week coming up, and the closer we get to the election, it's likely to be more volatile because the market's anticipating, okay, are we going to get this deal before the election? Are we going to have to get it after the election in terms of the stimulus? So be mindful of that, guys. Be careful. And again, the futures are down right now because of that. NASDAQ futures are down 0.5%, about 60 points. Dow Jones futures are down $1.40 here, down about 0.5%. So across the board, the futures are down 0.5%. So it seems like that little pop we had on Friday in the market, it's pretty much gone at this point. That's if the futures end up holding this and we end up opening up red tomorrow. And again, anything could happen. We might flip-flop. Who knows? But at this point, we're red in the futures market. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. What do you think? Where do you think we're heading tomorrow, this upcoming week? Are you buying? Are you selling? Let me know down below in the comments. So I'm going to pull up this little screenshot here from Earnings Whispers, and they don't sponsor me. It's just a screenshot I took off Instagram, and I'll give them full credit, of course. Go follow them at Earnings Whispers, but I really like the visuals they have, so I usually use these on the channel when it comes down to earnings season. So this shows you the earnings, the notable earnings coming up this week. So tomorrow we have a bunch of companies, but it gets juicier as the week goes on. Stay tuned, guys, for that. We have Chegg tomorrow. We have Twilio. We have on Tuesday, we have Pfizer, 3M, Caterpillar, Raytheon. I know a lot of people have been talking about Raytheon. We have Merck, JetBlue, BP. We have AMD. We have Microsoft, guys. Massive company there in Microsoft. Big tech is coming up, like I said. Wednesday, we have UPS, Boeing, General Electric. We have Fiverr, MasterCard, Sony, Etsy, Fastly, which is another one worth watching. And speaking on Fastly, guys, real quick, this is going to be interesting because we saw earlier their guidance like a week or two ago went down. We saw how their revenue, or was it earnings revenue from TikTok, is not as exciting as everyone thought, which is why the stock is cratering. It's been cratering. So I wouldn't really get into Fastly, to be honest, me personally, until after earnings, right? Because if they have guidance that's poor in the earnings call, or we get bad earnings in general, Fastly could go down lower. So be careful with that one. We also have Visa. I don't know if I mentioned that on Wednesday. We have eBay. We have Pinterest. We have Gilead. And then on Thursday, we have Shopify, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Twitter, and Spotify, and Alphabet, guys. This is no joke. Thursday is going to be incredible. And then we also have Starbucks, Activision on Thursday. And then on Friday, it's a bit of a lighter day, but still some of my companies that I own are reporting. We have Exxon, we have AbbVie, we have Honeywell, we have Chevron, we have Altria, Under Armour. A lot of people have been asking me about that one. So it's going to be a pretty jam-packed week, from big tech to a lot of energy companies, and we have also some industrials as well coming up with 3M and Caterpillar and a bunch of other ones. So what do you guys think about these? Are you invested in any of these companies? I'm sure most of you guys, if not all, own at least one of these companies in terms of the ones reporting earnings this week. So let me know down below. And now let's start breaking down some charts here. We have UPS and FedEx FedEx. These are two that I'm watching as they both have been crushing, I mean crushing earnings the past couple of quarters. UPS and FedEx, guys, just take a look at their recent two earnings. They've been doing very well, and the stock price reflects that. I mean, take a look. Last time UPS reported, they went from, this is crazy, from 118 roughly to about 165 in the matter of a couple of trading days. We consolidated there a bit, had another leg up to about 170. Now we're trading in the low 170s. So I'm looking at this one. If we see a retracement anywhere in the lower 160s, mid 160s, that could be an entry point. But you guys know me, like I've said many times on the channel, I don't like really buying and holding through earnings. So I'll probably wait and see what they do and maybe play the volatility afterwards. But overall, UPS, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another pop, especially if earnings are very good. But another thing worth noting here is UPS could be priced to perfection at this point, right? They've run up a ton. There's a lot of hype. I don't want to say hype like some other stocks, but the investor sentiment, I'd say right now around UPS is strong. So if it's kind of like a double-edged sword. So what that means is if they report bad earnings, or not even bad, slightly disappointing, the stock could dump too. So be careful there. We could go from, let's say, 170, maybe down to 155, 158, 160 at the lowest, if they do have subpar earnings. But for me, guys, I don't think they will. I think they're going to do well, but we'll see what ends up happening there. And again, FedEx is another one worth watching. We pulled down from 290 to about 275 last week. Now we're rallying on that 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. And this is another company that has crushed earnings the past couple of quarters. So watch out for UPS and FedEx, and I'm not sure when FedEx is reporting. I feel like they should be coming up here soon. Actually, no, they reported back on the 15th of September, so they probably have another month or 2 months until their next report. But watch UPS this week, and another one is going to be IPOB, Open Door, right? This one is down about $8-9 off the highs here, from $27 down to about $19. And this is one that I said on Friday I was so close to adding a little bit to it as a swing trade, but I didn't. And I think this week might be the week, especially if we get lower. And I mean, maybe down to 1750. If we try and test this support, you guys can see it's an old resistance. We also held it back on the 6th, roughly 7th of October as a support. So if we go right around there, 180 SMA 4-hour chart, I'd probably pull the trigger. And honestly, even at $18-19, I'd maybe average in. We have to see, guys. So IPOB, I'm loving it. There's a lot of momentum in the stock, and I think there's a chance it could go higher. So that's why I'm watching it. And we're also going to talk about some recovery stocks today. And if you didn't check my video out on Friday, I'll link it down below. I went over a bunch of recovery stocks that if we get a vaccine, if we get CV decline, which at this point we're not getting that, which obviously is a problem, right? But once the CV goes away, a lot of these recovery stocks are going to do well, and Wynn Resorts is one of them, WYNN. And we can see here it's been holding 70. We're ripping upwards towards the next resistance at about $80. So maybe we make a play to $80. I think it's possible. And if $80 breaks, if I extend this to the right, you guys can see, maybe we make a move up to $85, $88. So I think Wynn Resorts does have some potential, but be careful, guys, as it's obviously very volatile, and any bad news about CV and a vaccine being prolonged, it's going to hit stocks like Wynn Resort. That's just the truth. Or Wynn Resorts, rather, right? So watch out for Wynn Resort. And again, like I said, big tech. We have Microsoft, Msft here. They're reporting on Tuesday. Microsoft ended up hitting a high a couple weeks ago at 230. Saw a big sell-off to about 196. Now it's ripping back up to about 225. It did, rather. And since that rip up, we've seen a pull down. We've held 215. Now we're looking to hold 215. We're curling back up here. So I'm not getting too excited quite yet because technically we're still downtrending, although in the short term that is, although we held 215. So I'd like to see a break out of this 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, probably around 218 before considering a position. And depending on earnings, we might get an opportunity depending on what the stock does, whether they do great, guidance is good, and the stock moves. Hey, we might be able to catch some momentum with Microsoft. So I'm watching this one anywhere above 215. I like it. And the other big tech name is going to be Facebook, ticker symbol FB. You guys can see Facebook's been exploding recently. It's running, I'd say, on the back of Snapchat, doing well. A lot of the social media stocks are doing well like that. Snapchat, I think Twitter has been doing well, Pinterest. So these are worth watching, and Twitter actually is reporting this week as well. So watch Twitter, watch Facebook, guys. I like Facebook. Especially above 280. If it holds 280, we could make a move, in my opinion. I mean, we're already making a move up towards $300. So watch out for what Facebook's going to do here. And we also have, let me make this trend line. There we go. We also have Apple. And Apple is my biggest swing position right now, guys. And I know I say I don't like holding through earnings, but like I said before, 99% of the time, I don't like holding through earnings. And this is the 1% that I'm going to. Call me crazy. Call me what you guys want to. But I'm going to hold my swing position on Apple through earnings. And they're reporting here on Thursday, right? And I'm in roughly at about $115. We're in this overall wedge here. You guys can see it on the 4-hour chart. So watch out. And you guys see the little square box here. This is going to be very important in terms of direction, whether we break the upside here, this resistance, or we end up taking out 113, 114. That could end up selling us down to about $110 here on Apple. So I'm watching that one, as well as, of course, guys, Amazon, AMZM. This one sold off from about 3,500. Now we're holding 3,200 as support. It's looking like we are trying to rip up here, but like I said, guys, futures are down, so if they do continue going down, there might be a bigger sell-off tomorrow in the market. Who knows? And that would actually most likely bring down the big dogs out there, like Amazon, Apple, and so forth. So we might end up breaking 3,200. Nobody knows, but if 3,200 holds and we end up ripping out of this resistance here on the hourly, take a look at what I'm drawing here. If we end up breaking out of there and maybe heading up to the mid 3,200s, that would be a good sign in my opinion. And we also have Google, like I said, ticker symbol GOOG, and this one has been doing very well. I'd say Facebook and Google have been outperforming in terms of big tech. You guys can see they're ripping up while Amazon, Apple are actually selling off. So I'm looking at Google here. It is a bit overbought, I'll be honest, but if we're able to pull down, hold 1575, that's an old resistance here. If we're able to hold that as support, maybe that 50 SMA as well on the 4-hour chart, that could end up being a nice dip buy. And again, they're reporting earnings here on the 26th, which is, wait a second, that's tomorrow. Wait, that has to be wrong. No. Wait, okay, no, the 29th, guys. No, why does it say here earnings that's weird. It says on ThinkOrSwim here, earnings conference call on 10/26/20, but then it says earnings report on the 29th. That's a little odd there. Doesn't make sense, but hey, whatever, maybe it's a glitch. And after that, we have Etsy, guys. They're also reporting. Etsy's at a nice dip. I don't want to say dip buy because you guys, I don't recommend stocks here, of course. It's not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research, but it could be a dip buy, let's be honest. 155 was the high. We sold off. Now we're holding low 130s nicely. We're climbing back to the mid 130s, and this is looking extremely bullish. And honestly, guys, we've seen many companies struggle during this crisis. Unfortunately, it really sucks, right? But we've seen a lot of companies benefit, and Etsy is definitely one of those. Shopify, Amazon, these e-commerce companies have just been crushing it. So Etsy, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a great earnings report, but it's kind of like what I said with FedEx. It could be priced to perfection. If we get a disappointment, it could sell off too. So be very careful there. But overall, Etsy is looking good right now. And with a lot of these stocks, guys, we could get a play heading into earnings, right? If you're somebody like me that for the most part doesn't like trading through earnings, holding through earnings, you could always trade the hype heading into earnings, because a stock like Etsy, maybe a stock like Amazon, could run in anticipation of good earnings, and you could catch that move, if that makes any sense. So I'm watching Etsy. I'm also watching eBay, which did well on Friday, up about 3%. Big resistance coming up here at $54, so be careful there, guys. But I think if 54 breaks, we might see a nice run. I could see a pop to maybe the higher 50s, from anywhere from $56 to $58 if $54 breaks. So I'm actually going to set an alert here on eBay, or no, that's the wrong button here. Let's do it. Let's see, where is it? Create alert. At is at or above. Let's put it at, I'm going to say 54.50. So if we got a clear-cut break above 54.50 hits, that is where I might consider a position. And then we also have Pem National Gaming here. This stock, guys, I don't think I've seen one that's gone up this much, at least with my two eyes, in terms of, from the pre-crisis, or even actually the post-crisis level to where it is now. Penn has gone from $3 to $76, guys. $3 to $76. Now it's pulling down to the lower 60s. So this is arguably a decent opportunity. I mean, again, don't just buy because I'm saying, but we might see some sort of action after this little sell-off here. And I think they are reporting earnings as well on the 29th. So that's what, Thursday or something. So watch out for Pem. Take a look at this little channel here. If we end up holding low 60s, we could see a move back up to the high 60s. So that could be an opportunity with Penn National Gaming. And we also have Dave & Buster's. This is another recovery play. It's been ripping from about $14 now to the mid-20s, and it's arguably overbought. And quite honestly, guys, if we pull down, I would much rather see it pull down. If we end up going to about 1830, 1850, this could be a nice opportunity, especially if it ends up holding that as support. So I'm watching Dave & Buster's here. And another recovery play is Nordstrom. This was up about 5.5% on Friday. And this is one that I honestly need to dive deeper into, annual report, the numbers, and so forth, because I'm even considering a little position here as a longer-term recovery turnaround type of stock, because out of a lot of the retail that I've been looking at, I think Nordstrom is in a pretty decent spot from the research I've done so far. And I think this could be an opportunity. I was even looking at some long-term calls, maybe some 1750s or, maybe $20 calls. We'll see on this particular stock. So overall, guys, that's what that's what I'm looking at this week. Those are the stocks that I have on my list. And look at Fastly here. Might as well go over Fastly. Again, guys, be careful with this one, right? We saw guidance, not looking too great with TikTok. The revenue's down a bit. We've gotten some price targets. Oh my goodness, did they downgrade Fastly? They did. Piper Sandler, I don't even know who that is, but Piper Sandler downgrades Fastly. So be careful. A lot of people look at stocks that are dipping and they're like, oh, I need to get into this. But you have to realize, why are they going down, right? Is it an overreaction, or is it something more fundamental, which in this case it is with Fastly, with TikTok, the revenue being down a bit. So be careful there. It could be a trap. We could be going lower than $75, which is a big support. So that's it for this video, guys. If you all enjoyed it, hit the like button for me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on everything we talk about in this video. The market's heading up these next couple of days, and check out the videos, the recovery stock video. And if you guys want to learn more about me, I uploaded a video on Saturday about my personal journey, how I got to where I am today. And by the way, guys, I got so much love on that video. Unbelievable, the comments that I got. I truly appreciate you guys for all the support. It really means a lot. That video, It's not going to get a lot of views. I don't even care about the views, but the engagement was just unbelievable, and I still have to respond to all of your comments. I'll make sure to get to everybody's comment on that video, but just know I really appreciate all the support on that video. It means a lot to me, guys. And also, if you guys want 3 free stocks, don't forget that's linked down below. All you have to do is deposit $100, and you get 3 free stocks from WeBull valued up to $1,600. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe out there, guys. Keep crushing the markets. Peace out.